Hi my people, we are live and this is Runy from Island Wealth Channel, and today we're going to talk about two countries, and these two countries, one is the wealthiest country in the world and that is Luxembourg, and the other one is the poorest country in the world, Burundi. Now I have a great graph here. I would love to go to Burundi and also to Luxembourg, but I'm here behind my screen in my strategic dashboard and in my strategic boardroom, and I only have some graphs, and today I'm going to show you some global graphs about these two countries. So stay with me and we're back as soon as you see my face. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I'm preparing right now, finishing the last part of the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer School. And in that Island Wealth Caribbean Summer School, you see that in the link. You can raise your hand right away if you like what I'm showing you. You can raise your hand by clicking on that link in the post. And when you click on that link, you only have to put your name and your email in there, and you will be on the wait list, in the front row on the wait list, and you will be waiting for a notification, because as soon as this Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy goes live, before it goes live for the other people on LinkedIn, on YouTube, you will receive that. That's why you want to get on that wait list, and you're waiting for something great. So look at this. I'm going to show you right away, going with data, because in this episode of the Island Wealth channel and all the episodes, we are always based our analysis and what we share with you on data. This is a website, and the website is called theglobaleconomy.com, and you will see here the ranking of Luxembourg. You can get much more data about this. All these countries, you can get information about what minerals do they have, what their economy is doing, etc., etc. But this is a ranking, and apparently Luxembourg has about 117,000 US dollars per person on average. That's what they're earning per year. And if you go completely down there, a ranking of more than 200 countries, I think, you see Burundi. Burundi has $708 per year, and is at the ranking pace at 179. How is that possible? How is that possible? That's why I want to go with you and share you some screens of some figures. I'm not going to share everything. Probably you will be living on an island, and that island is going to be between Burundi and between Luxembourg. Your GDP per capita is going to be between $708 and $117,000 on average. Of course, not everybody in Luxembourg will earn $117,000. There is an average. There will be billionaires and there will be people way below 117,000. If you are in Luxembourg, just below comment and say, hey, I'm having much less, or I'm one of the billionaires, I want to invest with you, etc. Contact that. So contact me. But let's look at the data. You're here for the data, and I'm going to share with you right now, screen share. I'm going to share with you my analytical toolbox, and in this toolbox we can do some magic, because often people say we don't have the data. And in this series, I've been showing you every day how many data we have. And remember, in the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy, we're going to focus especially in the Caribbean, on the Caribbean islands, 12 islands, especially that I care about. Those islands will for sure be shown, and maybe we show also other islands. Because when I'm showing those islands, we can do some simulations, etc. for those islands. We cannot only look at the graphs, but we can also show you what if this happens? What if the government increases the taxes? What if the government comes up with a project, a big project? Like Curacao right now, they have a project and they're thinking about not continuing with the refinery, but they want storage of data and they want to blend oil. Is that going to help? Is that going to increase the economy? Is that going to increase your wealth if you're living on a Curacao? That's the question. That's what we can simulate. So this is the link, bit.ly/IW Island Wealth Summer Academy. You really want to be in that summer academy because summer is going to be hot, hot, hot. If you don't attend this academy, then the summer is going to be cold because your wealth is going to disappear. That's why you want to be on the academy. So let me show you some indicators. So you will see in this, this is called a notebook. It's a Python notebook, and when you participate in the Caribbean Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy, you will get these notebooks. You will get this analysis. You will be able to do all these analysis, getting the data about all the countries in the world. Let's do this. I compare USA. The USA is going to be compared with Luxembourg and Burundi. So for every indicator I'm going to show you Luxembourg, USA, and Burundi. If there is no indicator for USA or Luxembourg, but only for Burundi, I'm going to show you this indicator. The data from these indicators are coming from the International Monetary Fund, and also in the future we have the World Bank. We're using them. Thank you guys from the International Monetary Fund for providing the data. The data is available and you can get that, but of course you need some magic, and I created some magic that just get these graphs for you because I don't have time, you don't have time. When you're checking your wealth, when you are an investor, a private investor, when you are a high paid professional in the Caribbean, you want people to do these kind of things and you want to be informed. Maybe during the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy. Look at this. This is the debt. The debt is United States, 120%. We already saw that. Look at the previous videos on my channel, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and you will see that. This is very bad. Now, let's look at Burundi. The only thing I'm saying is I'm giving the Burundi BDI, the Burundi code, and I'm telling them I want the debt to GDP. If you don't know anything about BDI, Burundi, what you need to do is you need to go to this website, CIA.gov, and then you say Burundi. What is the Burundi code? Burundi, and you see it's BDI. If we want Burma, we can just put MMR. This is the official 3-letter country code of these countries. So I don't know all these countries. I would like to visit all these countries, especially the 58 small islands in the world, because I am here on Island Wealth and I want to work for islands, or everybody in the developed world who wants to live an island lifestyle, Island Wealth lifestyle. Going back to the graph, now you know where that BDI comes from, and then you see the growth, the graph. Look at this. So while the United States had a 120%, Burundi in 2000 had about 170, 160. So that was very bad. And of course, this is a collapse. So if you if the USA continues to grow like this, continues to increase from 120 to 160, maybe this will happen. So if you are living in the United States, do you want this to happen with you net, just like Burundi? This is basically a debt cycle. The debt cycle tells you that many people loses their money. If you are holding Burundi treasuries in 2020, 2004, you're holding Burundi treasuries. This was your highest up. You just thought like the people in the United States that this is going to continue forever, and then suddenly the debt gets liquidated, so wealth is transferred. That's why I want to show you these graphs. You have to look at these graphs. So this means this is not possible. This means like probably if we study the economy of Burundi, this must have been a huge problem, a huge wealth transfer, and now it's continuing. Let's look at Luxembourg. Luxembourg. So while Burundi is about 50, well, 50, 75, around 60 right now, the goal is to be below 60. Most islands, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, tells you to be below 60%. Luxembourg is around 20%. During the last, what can I say, during the last, I think 30 years or 50 years, during the last 50 years, 54 years, Luxembourg has been below 20%. That's why they are so wealthy, because they don't have debt. They have assets. They don't have liabilities, which is the debt. They have assets. They have assets. They have net worth. We can look at the net worth of Luxembourg, but this tells you right away why Burundi has a much better situation and is wealthier. No, not Burundi is wealthier. Luxembourg is wealthier than Burundi, the debt situation. This is about El Salvador. I want to tell you about El Salvador. El Salvador is important because they have Bitcoin. I expect a lot to happen with the economy of El Salvador. That's why I'm studying that. It's also close to the Caribbean. So if you are living on the Caribbean and you want to do some business with El Salvador, then make sure you follow me and you join the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy. Because we're going to talk about the world and not only about the Caribbean. We are going to talk about all trends and all trading partners of the countries we're doing business with. If your minister is going to Suriname, if your minister is going to Canada, and your minister is of any Caribbean islands, then you want to know, what is your minister going to do in Canada? Are we trading with Canada? What is your minister going to do to Brazil? Why? Is he traveling to Brazil, or is he just having some holidays, or do we actually trade with Brazil? Is Brazil's economy growing? That's what you want to know. These are all real indicators, and I will just show you here again. That's the same indicator, and now here we're going to get another indicator. The other indicator is GDP per capita. GDP per capita. So we saw the debt, and now we want to see the GDP per capita. Look at that. United States is also, this is a projection 2024, but in 2025 it's about 80,000, probably 80,000 US dollars. That's a lot. That's a lot. $80 US dollars. I think that's higher than all the Caribbean islands. I want to, tell me below, do you want to see this 80,000? Do you want to see the Caribbean islands? Tell me below. Do you want to see the average of the Caribbean islands, and do you want to see all the Caribbean islands? Maybe the Caribbean islands of OACS, so Organization of East Caribbean Islands. Maybe you want to see the Caribbean islands in the CARICOM. Maybe you want to see the 12 special islands, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, all the 8 Eastern Caribbean islands. Curacao, St. Martin. You want to see their GDP per capita in a nice graph during the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy, and you want us to dive into those islands and do some simulations. That's where you want to be there. GDP 80,000. Look at this. Burundi. Oh my goodness. This is about $1,000. We saw that from a different source, and you see here it's indeed 708, about that. It's about that in 2025. So it has gone from let me see, 80 for 400 to 700. Maybe that's a doubling. That's a doubling. So guys, in about 40 years, the GDP per capita has doubled. And inflation, I'm looking at inflation, because if inflation didn't double, but it went fourth time, then you know, they got more money, your governments and everything, they got a doubling of their GDP per capita, but you got like 3-4 times inflation. So that means that you're poorer than in the 1980s. Because if inflation goes much more at a higher pace than your GDP per capita, then doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So your GDP per capita doubled and your inflation 10 times. Your wealth is down there, where you have to put the comments. You see, that's how we are using these indicators. So United States went from 20,000 to 80,000, 4 times. So United States really had a huge growth in GDP per capita. Let's look at Luxembourg. Luxembourg started at 20,000 and went up there to 170,000. So that's how much? That's like 7-8 times. So you see, based on this graph already, Luxembourg got a GDP per capita 8 times. 8 times. And current prices means just these prices right now. It's not deflated by inflation. So you want to look at inflation. Let's look at inflation. Let's first look at the nominal GDP. That's like the total number. This is like 16 trillion, something like 16 trillion US dollars. You want to see this compared to the US debt, because the US has a debt to GDP of 120%. So the debt is much higher than the nominal GDP, the nominal income. The GDP is what we are earning in USA in the whole year. So that's what you want to do. And Burundi has nominal GDP. This is $1 million. So this is about $3 billion. $3 billion. 3 billion, probably 3 billion US dollars, because it's in millions and then times 3 billion. Now, if you compare that for Curacao, where I live, has a $2.5 billion economy. And Curacao has only 160,000 people. And Burundi, we can look at the population of Burundi, but Burundi must have much more than that. So are you seeing what we're doing here? Are you seeing why this is called the Island Wealth Channel? We're not talking about money, but we're talking about things that influence your wealth. Things, global trends that influence your wealth. And don't forget to go to that place. Don't forget, let me look at this, and let me just go to that, click on that link, and then see what you can see, because I want you to get in on that waiting list. I want you to get in on that waiting list. Please go here, click here, and you see this beautiful lady, Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy. First name, yeah, email, yes, put me on the waiting list, and you're done. And this lady, you will see after you subscribe how this lady changes in a wealthy. Here she's dreaming just like you about how can I make more money. what is happening with my wealth in the future if I'm living on the Caribbean, in the Caribbean. But when you click, you will see how wealthy she becomes. That's a surprise for you. I know that exactly. Now let's continue. Let's continue with the next indicator because we already saw everything and now we need to go to the prices. I want to do something with the prices. I want to see something with the prices. You want to see it? Let me see. Before that, let's look at the growth. The growth of Burundi. The growth of Burundi. I don't have these growth numbers in here right now for the USA and Luxembourg, but the growth. You see here how Burundi has been growing from 2004 around 4%, and then it collapsed. So in 2014, it collapsed to minus 4%. That's actually a huge. And then here in 2020, we got a lot of things. So this looks like 4%, which is not that much. 4% is not that much because I expected it to be a much deeper than this. So in the COVID period, Curacao decreased their economy with 20%. How do I know that? Because I have a macroeconomic model and investment and macroeconomic investment framework and macroeconomic model that tells you exactly how this economy works. I have that for 12 islands, and when there is a hurricane in the Caribbean, I know I can I can calculate for you what will happen if, say, 50% of the tourism is down. If the cruise tourists, if 60% of the cruise tourists don't come to your island because there is a hurricane or there is a problem or there is a COVID, how will that impact your taxes? How will that income your jobs? How will that income impact your anything, your employment, your profits of your government? I'm talking to governments. I'm talking to high professional, to people who have a high wage, to pension funds, to labor unions. All these people, they care about the island wealth. So these frameworks can be used for many of these things. So you see that if you look at so from here on, I'm going Namibia, etc. So that's it. That's it for today. It's for today. I just want to share with you that if you want to just go there and make sure that you just click on that link. There's many things, and I want to also ask you, what countries do you want to see? What countries do you want to see? Do you want to see Burundi? Do you want to see Burundi? Yes, you saw Burundi. You saw Burundi. This is just ChatGPT working that. Burundi, guys, sorry that it's ChatGPT. I'm innovating with ChatGPT, so I'm just putting it down there. But you see ChatGPT can improve and it can write, but it produced this beautiful image for me, and I'm already happy with that. But if you want to learn more, just click on that link and then make sure you go to the wait list, and then tomorrow again I will be giving you another episode. And I don't know which country it is. It depends on your comments below. Which country do you want to see? Somebody wanted to see Switzerland. Somebody said, I want to see Switzerland. Do we have that? Do we have that? Wait. Let me just go here. Maybe this will break, but I don't care. I don't care. I see Switzerland here. I see Switzerland. Somebody asked for Switzerland, and I just want to see the fact book. So look at this, Switzerland, and I want to see this fact book, and this is Switzerland. What is the code of Switzerland? Switzerland. What is the code of Switzerland? Switzerland is here. Switzerland. Switzerland is chi. Is che. Say each a. Say each a. Say each a. So somebody wanted to see the depth of Switzerland last time. I think it was Clive. Clive, you wanted to see the depth. I'm going to do something crazy. And maybe this will not work, guys. But if this doesn't work, I'm going to just, if it doesn't work, I'm just going to change that next time. I'm going to change that next time. Let me see. I'm going to change that next time. And let me see that spreadsheet. I'm going to change that sometimes. But if it does, if it breaks right now, don't laugh at me, because this is just live, and that means I need to improve my code. I need to improve my code. And if I'm improving my code and I'm improving it just live, so this can work and this cannot work. I don't care. So let me see here. So what I do is I go there and I say che. And why it breaks, why it sometimes breaks, is because not all the indicators are available at the IMF. You see? So what is this? This is for Clive. Clive, you asked in the comments for the depth of Switzerland. So the first thing is I want to give you this website. This website is called theglobaleconomy.com, and Switzerland, theglobaleconomy.com, Switzerland. So I'm putting this website in here for you. Theglobaleconomy.com, Switzerland. Yes? Let's make that bigger. Let's make this especially for Clive. And make it a code, markdown. So that's the link you wanna check it. Do you have it? Global economy. And if you want depth, you can look at the depth. But let's go now and see if I can look at the depth. Yes, it works. So apparently, this is the depth situation of Switzerland. Look at that. So how did I do it? I just entered the country code, I entered the depth situation, and I said create graph. And this create graph is something special that I created, that I'm teaching in another program, which is the Island Wealth Python Management. And that's another program that's currently running. And the same, we have students there engaged, and that same program is now closed, but maybe it will open next time. I don't know when it's going to open, but we are improving everything and we are learning. And then in that program, I teach people how to program Python to create digital assets, things that work for you right 24 hours, things that automate your life. You see, that is automation, because before I used to go and do this with Excel all the time. When I worked with policy departments, with small island nations, with all those other people, we used to do this in Excel. And now my clients get the best. They get these kind of fast things, artificial intelligence and everything. So look at this, Switzerland, Clive, I hope you like it. You are from Switzerland. You guys have a huge, something has happened from 1950 to 1974. Clive, I can tell you that you guys have grown a lot. Probably this is GDP per capita. No, this is depth per capita, depth per GDP. This is debt divided by income. So your economy grew a lot and your debt stayed the same. Or what you did is you got a lot of reserves and you got a lot of money and you paid back your debt. And your debt GDP went to 5%. And that's why Switzerland, everybody wants to be doing business with you guys, Clive. You see, I'm mentioning Clive because Clive put a comment down below. If you want me to mention you, put your comment below and tell me which kind of indicator and why you want that indicator. So you guys did something well, and that's why Switzerland is so wealthy and so trusted, because they don't have debt. Now here it grows a little bit and it is about 25%, but here the trend is going down again. So Switzerland is around 15% debt per GDP. Now I also analyzed Saudi Arabia and those kinds Eastern countries. I'm going to also later on focus on the Middle East, and I'm focusing on Asia. I want the tigers and the Japan, Malaysia, and all these countries. I don't only want to focus on the small islands, because we on small islands, we can trade with you guys in Malaysia, in Singapore, etc. This is a global thing. You understand? We are able to invest our money in Malaysian companies, public companies. We are able from Caribbean to invest our money instead of savings into Singaporean companies, into Saudi Arabian, maybe Saudi Aramco. That's a public company in there. So we're living in a global world, and that's why Island Wealth Channel is from an island, but it is to the world. You understand that, Ron? From an island, we can be helping you and analyzing everything. And everything we discuss in the Island Wealth Caribbean Summer Academy is also relevant to you living in Switzerland, USA, Burundi, Luxembourg. Put your links below. I hope this helped. And that's it. I'm out. I'm out right now. I'm going out. Bye.